Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. My name is Beth. Today we are going to set up June in my work bullet journal. I am changing a couple of things, so let's go ahead and get started. Those of you who've been around for a little while know that I keep my work journal fairly minimal, but I am going to do some things that are different, including my calendar or dashboard, which I'm going to use this faux Dutch door here. You can tell I've already tested that by putting a fold in the paper. We're going to go ahead and start off with putting my time image over here. I get these just off of Canva or Unsplash. Put them on sticker paper, print them on sticker paper, and then slap them in my journal. I'm not very fussy about it. Sometimes they get in crooked, and that is a-okay. It's one of those things that just gives me a little bit of decoration, a little bit of a theme without having to draw anything, do anything fancy. And there we go. We're down on the page for June. Now what I'm going to do here is I am changing things up from my normal calendar where I typically do a mini calendar in this corner, events and meetings on this side, and then on another page I'll do things like priorities and my detour list, those things that get in the way of your normal work in a month so that you can kind of track what may have derailed your productivity in a particular month. I am actually going to still put my mini calendar here. I'm going to have my priorities here. Tucked behind this flap will be my monthly review, but here I'll be able to see also my list of projects. Again, this will be my monthly review, but I wanted some more space to track or schedule. I'm doing a lot more sort of time blocking things. So here I will have my calendar for my days of the week. I'll have my events, my meetings, those projects that I'm working on in relation to where I can schedule project time around my existing events. I also have an audit that I'm going to add. We'll see that here in just a little bit. And then sort of some weekly planning on this side. It'll all come together. So we're going to go ahead and just get that on the page. For supplies, I'm just using my regular Sharpie S-Gel daily pen. This is the pen that I use all of the time. I just love the weight of it, for one thing. And then I do have some mild liners. This is sort of the vintage set. I keep this in the case that I carry with my work journal, so I always have these colors with me. Don't always use them all the time. And then I've done something a little different with my daily setups as well. So we're also going to set up the first day of June so that you can see what I'm doing with that or how I start my day. Let me go ahead and get this started. Okay, so there is our June dashboard here. Again, I have my dates, a little bit of space for some weekly planning, and then I can put my events on those dates, meetings, and then schedule projects around getting these other two things on the calendar. Gone ahead and highlighted my weekends. I drew a dividing line between meetings and projects. This crease and this crease sort of create a natural dividing line between the other ones, so there's no need for me to do that. Then of course my monthly review will be tucked behind here, and when I open my journal, this is kind of what I will see. I'm trying to move towards doing some more projects this summer. We do have some events, but I have fewer of them. I don't have nearly as many as I did in May. May was a little bit of a rough time, but I am going to go ahead and stick a June header on here as well from our stickers. So these, just in case I forget what month it is, I'll just go ahead and stick that up there. And look, I have gotten spare days of the week stuck to me. And here is a place for me to put a few of my priorities, as well as those detours I talked about, those things that derail your month. This will be space for me to do a monthly review. Still trying to figure out in my work journal what I kind of want these review prompts to look like. We'll figure that out. And then the June dashboard, which is just a larger calendar for me to see. All right, let's go ahead and flip over. And this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be my stuff. This is going to be my David Allen getting the stuff out of my head page. So this is going to be a brain dump page. This is going to be my audit page, and I'm going to get it set up and then we will talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and unfold that while we set this up so I don't end up with creases. This is going to take me a little bit longer because I am going to be using the ruler and making some boxes and some squares. I'm not going to do this every month. I just kind of want to see an overview of where my time is going every month. It'll be a whole lot easier if I explain it to you after it's set up. So let me go ahead and get it on the page. Okay, so this is going to be my June audit as well as my brain dump page before I start my weeklies. And this is how I envision this audit working. And this might not work for everyone, but if you kind of want to get an overview of what your month look like, this is an audit to do. And this is something I'm going to fill in at the end of each day because I do have things like meetings, project time, events on here, and we know that sometimes our day gets hijacked and things get moved and meetings get canceled or they run long, that sort of thing. So this is how this is going to work. I did go ahead and use the stickers again. I don't use all 12 on a sticker sheet because my journal only lasts me 3 or 4 months and my work journal, so I have plenty of these stickers to use. This little R indicates remote, so typically I do work from home 2 days a week if I don't have an event on that day or have no need to be in the office. And this is just for me to indicate, I'll put a dot on the days that I am remote or working from home. Across the top, these are the hours in my workday from 8 to 5. I do use a world clock or a military clock. So once you get to 12, then it's 1300, 1400, 1500, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It makes sense to me. If you don't use a world clock or a 24-hour clock, don't do that. Just, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., whatever works best for you. So that I can come in on the 1st and I can indicate that I either had an event in green during over whatever hours, and that includes things like pre-event setup and post-event breakdown. I'll block down however long I'm in a place related to an event. For a meeting, recurring meetings, non-recurring meetings, a meeting that, happened in the middle of the day that wasn't on your calendar and you just got hijacked, will be in this sort of gray blue color, and then projects in tan, and then me time in this coppery brown color, me time being lunch, doctor's appointments. I'm starting physical therapy on my knee for those who have followed along with the fact that I've had a knee injury for a couple of months. So this would be any of that time that I block off for myself that's within the work day that, I might have to take time off, go to the physical therapist, come back, but I'll know it's for me. I'll know it's my time and not work time that I put down on my audit. And so I've allowed myself 2 dot grid spaces for every hour so that I can split them in halves. I work in a very large facility, so sometimes even if I only have a 30-minute meeting, say from 9:30 to 10:30, I might block off 9 to 11 because I gotta walk there if it's an in-person meeting. And it's just one of those things that you've got to account for in the type of facility that you work in. Most of our meetings post-COVID, like everyone else, do tend to be virtual. We use Teams a lot or Zoom. But if I do need to walk somewhere, I'll block off more space for the meeting than usual, and quarter-hour increments really don't do me any good. Even if I have a meeting, then I'm recovering from a meeting, trying to get back into a different brain space to move on to the next thing. So half-hour increments work for me on this timeline. Now, what else I have done has also added a scale from 1 to 10 that I can also track my stress levels. And I'll do that using a line graph. So here on the 1st, I will just choose, on a scale of 1 to 10, if my stress was, say, a 5, I'll put a little dot here. And then on the 2nd, if it was, a 7, I'll put a little dot here and then connect the dots so that I can see my stress levels in conjunction with the different things that I had going on that day and how the day actually played out. Hopefully this will help me see some time blocking at a glance, and I can see what's taking the most of my time. If I see most of this is green or most of this is gray, blue, then I'll know most of this was a meeting time, and it'll help me find times that I can plug in these projects that I need to get done, because there's some things that they're just personal quests that will make life easier for the other individuals in my organization if I can get them done and launched. And I haven't had time to do that because we've had back-to-back events. So that's one of those things that I want to do, and this is just what my monthly work audit is going to look like. I've never used this before. I've never set up anything like this before. I've never seen anybody else set up anything else like this before. So it's new to me, maybe new to you, maybe it's helpful. Again, this is going to be my brain dump page, and then we will move into setting up for the 1st of June, which is on a Thursday. Again, I do use these date stickers. If I can pick it up. These date stickers that I got off of Amazon. I originally saw them, I think, on Stationery Pal, but then they were sold out when I wanted to buy them, so I got them off of Amazon. They peel off and are see-through. They're mostly clear. They do have teeny tiny spots down here where you can indicate what day it is, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can circle it. I never use that. It's so tiny, but at least it gives me a little bit of consistency on the page. So we're going to go ahead and stick in June 1st. And then I like to write what that day of the week is, as opposed to circling that tiny little thing. So it's Thursday. I like to write if I am in office, or WFH for work from home. I also like to put in the weather and looking ahead for the rest of this week. This is what our weather will be. And then I started using the little template-y icon to indicate that weather pattern. So I don't know if I'm going to keep using this. It's just one more stencil for me to carry around to say, oh look, it's partly cloudy on that day. For now, it's here. My pen doesn't even fully fit down in there. Sometimes the weather has been sneaking up and surprisingly, like, you know, it'll start torrential downpouring and I had no idea it was going to rain, kind of thing. And then I'm also doing some time blocking during the day. So I'm going to draw a little chart here for the day that's very similar to that last one, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is how the beginning of my day is looking. I do try to set this up in the last 30 minutes of my work day the day before. Just go ahead and get this all in here. This again is the same time blocking. I do sort of give myself an hour on the other side of my work day in case I decide to come in early or stay late for something. Otherwise, I'll use the same color coding. So on most days from 12 to 3, I have blocked off in this color for my lunch hour. I'm not going to do that for Thursday because there's something else I got going on, so I got to figure out where I'm going to move my lunch hour to for June 1st. And then just, you know, color code and write. So I would have color coded that and kind of written lunch underneath it. If I had a meeting from 2 to 3, I'd color code that and write what that meeting was, just to give me an idea. If I was doing this in a journal that I kept personal and work in, I would probably run it down the side so that I had the pre-work hours and the post-work hours on it as well, so that I could have, you know, mark in some personal time, what I'm doing before I go to work, what I'm doing after I get off of my regular paid job, whether that's things for Dots and Beyond or freelance, that sort of thing. And then I have also started putting in the top 3 priorities that I need to get done for the day right off the bat, and then I just free flow log after that, as well as keep meeting notes. So a day can be part of a page, a day can be all of a page, it can run multiple pages on depending on how important it is for me to take notes in different meetings. But that's how I'm currently also time blocking on my day, and this will help me in the long run fill out this audit. So there you have it. We have done some different things for June in the work journal. Still have my time set up. Here we have June header with my mini calendar, priorities, detours, the review, what my dashboard calendar will look like, my audit, my brain dump to start the month, and then how I will start off the 1st of June, and then just have space to rapid log throughout the day after that. And that is it, my friends. That is what the work journal is looking like right now. I've also added some tabs up here at the top. So one of them goes to my project page, and I've added tabs at the bottom. Just it makes it easier than the ribbons, I think, to kind of have a thumb tab on the day that you are currently on to get you where you need to go. So my ribbons are just kind of tucked away at this point. I wasn't really using them all that effectively to begin with, so maybe I'll just keep the ribbons tucked in the back while I'm testing out this other method of having the tabs at the top and the tabs at the bottom. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this work journal series, please go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.